Now let's write our first HTML page with the proper format, which is the basic markup for every HTML page. So we're going to start off by writing the doc type. Basically, the doc type tells the browser that, hey browser, process my HTML with the latest version of HTML, which is HTML5. So it knows that, okay, whatever formatting it needs to read is going to be read in the latest format or the latest version. Now HTML has multiple versions, version 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple subversions, 4.4, 4.1, and then now the latest one is HTML5. So basically, if you have an older website, it's going to have a different version number mentioned in the doc type. But since HTML5 is very common now, we're going to use the doc type and HTML like this, and it's going to basically tell the browser to use the latest version. So let's type that over here. I'm going to remove everything and simply write that particular element. Like such. All right. Next, now before we move further, remove the next part. Now before we move further, you notice that this is a very special element. It does not have that slash over here, the closing element, and it also has this exclamation point over here. So that is an exception. There's no other element like such in HTML. So with that said, let's start with our normal HTML now. So we start off by putting the HTML element first. So I'm going to just simply put in HTML and then provide a mandatory attribute which is called lang. So lang means language, and which is the language that this HTML document is written in. So I'm going to say EN for English. Now similarly, when this is an opening tag, we'll always have a closing tag, which is HTML, and inside this HTML we need 2 children only, nothing else, always 2 children. And these are the head, all right, and the body. Now, as you already know from our previous video, that the body element, whatever it has, will basically show on the page, and anything inside the head are basically options for this entire web page. So one important element for HTML document is the title element. So I'm going to put it in. And over here in the title, I'm going to say the title of this page. So let's say my page title is, this is my first page. All right, save. And now I'm going to refresh, and you notice this is my first page shows up in the title. Now I know maybe the video is very small, there's no way for me to zoom it, but you can just see slightly maybe in your videos that this is my first page is showing up in this particular area. Now this area is of very significant importance because let's say if I'm just going to go to Google, I'm going to just going to Google anything. So anything here, right? Doesn't matter. Now you see that over here it says Scratch Studio, add anything here. All right. If I go to this page, you see Scratch Studio, add anything here is actually the title of that page. It's not mentioned over here. Scratch, like there's no text like such. It's actually over here. So search engines put a lot of emphasis on what the title of the pages, and whatever the title of your pages is actually going to show up in the search engines per page. So every HTML page is treated separately by your web servers and also Google. So Google does not index websites, it actually indexes pages, so one page at a time. All right, so you want to make sure that your title is very relevant when you're writing your HTML pages. All right, moving further, so let's say I'm just going to close this, and over here I'm going to start writing some code. So our paragraph, I'm just going to put in, hi, this is my first para. All right, and over here I'm going to create a new para, so P, and this is the second para. All right, save and refresh, and you see that the first and the second paragraph is created. Now you notice over here that there is a natural space in between, and that's the reason because when you're wrapping multiple elements separately, the paragraph element is going to create a natural space. So all different elements have different attributes and they treat the content differently. And that's why we have multiple elements and they all are treated. That's why we have multiple elements and they all treat the content slightly differently. So with that said, we have completed our majority 90-80% of the parts of understanding HTML and how it works. You know how the pages, the name of the page should be, how to write elements, what the basic markup of the content should be, and now the rest are just details which we're going to cover one at a time and create beautiful pages. Talk to you in the next video.